Welcome to Wholesale Hotline. I'm Brent Daniels.
I'm Jamil Damji.
And I'm Jerry Norton.
And I'm Pace Morby.
Every week we bring you the best information on real estate investing.
Be sure to participate in the comments.
And subscribe.
Wholesale Hotline!
Hey everybody, welcome to Wholesale Hotline. Hopefully you guys can hear us just fine and we're not echoing. We just had to set up the cameras all over again. Jerry Norton and I are in Montana and Jamil is in Canada. That's why it's a lot darker. For some reason over there, it's not as light. So Jamil.
Hold on. Let me turn the lights on.
What?
That didn't work.
Guys, if you can hear Jerry and I, please give us a yes in the comments, please.
How's that?
Yeah, actually, it looks a little bit better.
A little bit better? I'll take a little bit.
Did you see the deer out front? Oh, there's like 3 deer chilling out in your front yard when I pulled up.
I didn't see him. I'm going to speak into both mics today because I'm not sure which mic is working. I'm going to assume both are working or one's working. I don't know. So, guys, I had this person about a week ago call me up and they said, I don't know if this business is for me. Like, I keep getting no's. I can't get a yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a post today on Instagram because I was like, let me look at my CRM. I was looking at this deal. I had a call today at 4:00 and I knew I had the call at 4:00. So I was telling this human that called me, I said, let me go and check out this deal. I've been working on it for 4 months. It's actually a lead that Jamil and I actually curated and created back in February. When we called this real estate agent originally in February, we offered Subto. Okay. Seller and his wife are going through a divorce.
I remember.
His wife had a stripper pole in the house.
She cheated on him.
She cheated on him. She had like an OnlyFans account type of thing in the house. So the house is just, it's funky. You know how most primary bedrooms, you have a wall before you get into the bathroom, right? They removed the wall so you can watch people showering. It was like a total like dungeon type of house. Anyway, we go tour it. We take 15 new students over there, which was kind of cool. And when we offered Subto, the agent's like, absolutely no. No. I said, guys, don't worry. These people are in incredible pain. All you have to do is what? Follow up. Just wait. Right? Wait and follow up. So here we are 4 months later. The agent sends me a text message this morning.
And you followed up how often in the past 4 months?
10 times.
Oh, 10 times.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. So we followed up on the 6th time.
So
the first time he says
about once
no.
a week, or about once a week.
Yeah, about once a week. So he said the first time he says no. Second time he says no. The 6th time in the CRM, I looked it up today. He says not yet,
which is like maybe,
kind of maybe, or like okay, we're starting to see the light, right?
Mm-hmm. Pain's starting to set in.
This morning he sends me a text message and he says, "Okay, let's do this." And I was counting the letters versus how many times we had to follow up. And it was like every time we followed up, we earned a new letter. So it was like, no, we only had to call them twice. So we deserved 2 letters. Then we called them 6 times. We deserved a not yet. Then we got to let's do it was 10 letters. Also was at 10 follow-ups. Like it matched letter by letter.
Wow.
And I was telling this person, I'm like, I'm going to get this deal done. And I want you to just follow how many times it takes to follow up. If the person's in pain, the only way to solve some of these problems is a low cash offer or a creative finance offer. That's it. There's no way they're going to sell on the market. And it just is a follow-up game. I don't know. And I said to him this analogy. Do you go to a basketball, pump it one time, and then are you pissed off it's not fully like full of air? No, you pump it until it's ready to go. Well, how many pumps does it take? As many as it takes.
I don't know if you've heard this statistic, Pace, but I think it's like the National Sales Association put this out, but it said that 80% of sales, this isn't a real estate thing, just a sales thing, 80% of sales are made between the 5th and 12th follow-up.
Yeah.
80%. And I would say that's probably accurate for our industry.
That's really interesting. So in my CRM for the last 13 years, this December will be my 13th year in the business. In my CRM, as long as I've tracked it, 70% of my deals come from 13 follow-ups or more. 70% come from
Yeah.
13.
So that's almost consistent with that.
Yeah, and you get some like really, and I just might be crappier, and that's okay. Like my numbers are going to be a little bit different than other people, but you just realize that's the game. You don't. It's kind of like Maddie, the homeless person. I'm working a deal with her. Before I gave her the education, I said, Maddie, you have not even started this business until you've sent me 250 houses for me to say no to. That's when the business starts.
That's when you can count it. Yeah.
That's when it starts. She's like, okay. And that was her expectation. So she sent me all the way to 47. And then we ended up Jamil and I ended up doing a deal with her. And she sent me this house that was a Jamil house. And she makes $5,000. And she goes, wait, hold on. I didn't send you 250 houses. How did I deserve this? I'm like, isn't that interesting? The expectation was very clear with her, but the other people, the expectation is not there. They're like, expect to get a deal in their first call. It's really, it's been interesting.
It's like Muhammad Ali said that you don't start counting push-ups till like 100. Then you start counting.
It's because it's like this, right? You're Maddie. Think of it this way: you go to somebody who's in the hospital and they're like, laid out, like almost on their deathbed, and you say, "Hey, what would you do to get well?" And they'll say everything and anything. They'll do it all. And if they get better faster, amazing, because look at where they just were, right? It doesn't matter if this takes me 6 years to get healthy. I'm okay to do that. I was just on my deathbed. Well, it got as bad as it could possibly get for Maddie. And so she's seen the worst of it. You're telling me I just had to send you 40 houses? I had to hit copy paste 40 times and change some number 40 something times. And I got $5,000 in my bank account. Like, are you kidding me? She's seen so much adversity. She's seen so much in her life that the little bit that you made her do to teach her how to fish was easy for her because of the amount of adversity that she's seen and had to overcome. Meanwhile, we're always so coddled. We're all like, are you okay? Is everything okay? Don't get uncomfortable. Just do what you feel. And bro, this is what we're doing. This is what we've created. A whole bunch of people who make 3 phone calls and they think that's the game. They get 3 no's and they're ready to walk away and run away. And that's sad.
Yeah. You can't say it didn't work until you've tried it 1,000 times. And then you won't say it didn't work because it'll have worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pace, that story reminds me of a stripper pole I bought once.
Oh yeah. I know about the stripper pole. You bought, it was way too big.
No, here's what happened. I was building a fun barn. So we lived in Utah.
Okay. So this is a fun barn for the kids, or you and
Well,
Ray?
yeah, it was for the kids. So I wanted a fireman pole for the fun barn.
Oh, is that what we call that?
Yeah. So I started calling fireman pole like distributors, and they were crazy expensive. I needed a 17-foot pole, like $5,000. So I'm calling, and one of the sales guys says, "What are you using it for?" And I told him, and he said, "Oh, you want a stripper pole. You don't want a fireman pole." He's like, "It's way cheaper." I said, "Okay." So I started calling stripper pole distributors. And come to find out, a stripper pole is half the cost of a fireman pole, but it's double walled because it's got to hold
Some big girls,
like 2 girls on there or 3 girls on there, and they make them longer, they make them better. So I'm getting sales pitches from stripper pole like salespeople.
Did it show up at your house as a stripper pole?
Yeah, I had to pick it up at the airport because it was so long. It was 17 because I didn't want 17 feet long.
So you pull in your neighborhood and it's get a stripper pole hanging out your van. That sounds like the most Jerry Norton thing ever, dude. Jamil, Anthony Milanko says, I missed the link for the Home Depot discount last week. Is that still available? Can you drop that in the side chat, please?
Absolutely.
Also, shout out to Richard Knowles. Richard Knowles, longtime Subto member. I wrote a book with Bigger Pockets a couple summers ago, and he's in chapter 5, I believe. Richard Knowles just sent me a text message the other day saying he made $140,000 on a Morby method deal. A lot of people are doing Morby method deals the last, I'd say year and a half. It's
because there's high equity,
a lot of high equity, or sellers that are just like, I want a really high down payment. And the way we structure those deals, I'm going to bring him on the channel. We'll see how we structured it. But I've got an RV park right now that I'm doing a Morby method on, where the seller's like, well, I'll sell this $6 million RV park to you, but I want $3 million down.
Which is what percentage of the price?
50%.
50.
So it's like, okay, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately a new person will go, where the crap are you going to get the $3 million? So I told the broker, I said, I'll give you the $3 million down payment, but I'm not going to make payments on the other $3 million for 5 years. And the broker says, yeah, we could do that. So it's really fun watching. Probably my biggest Morby method I've seen is my $20 million deal I did in Illinois. But shout out Richard Knowles. You crushed it.
And those loans, by the way, aren't as difficult to qualify for because your loan to value is so low.
Right.
When you're financing 50% of the purchase.
They're typically DSCR loans as well, which is really, really cool.
And Pace, what I also learned, sorry to cut you guys off. I learned that in a Morby deal, you get to kind of name your acquisition fee as well, because that's a part of the whole process. And so when you're creating it, of course, you don't make it absorbent, you don't make it crazy, but like you can say, hey, this deal did this much and it took us this much time, this many people are involved. Maybe my fee is 50 grand on this. And you can fold that in so that it becomes a part of the overall first part of the loan. Is that correct, Pace?
Yes, sir.
I mean, how amazing is that? You just get to decide and choose your fee. The Morby method is really, if you have a deal like that you can make pencil out and make the money make sense, it's pretty smart.
What's really cool is like the RV park, the way that I'll structure the RV park is that I will pay myself like $250,000 on the deal and be no money out of pocket. I will get paid $250,000 to buy a $6 million RV park.
As long as it pencils and fits in the deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Carson Walsh says, Pace, Jerry, Jamil would have the same exact situation as well. All three of us have a very similar kind of lifestyle right now. How do you balance staying connected with extended family while moving to places like Montana, Tennessee, or Puerto Rico, or Canada, or LA in Jamil's situation? Dream places to live, of course, but just curious how you balance it all. First and foremost, I'm going to have a very different answer than both these guys. My extended family can kiss my ass.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want that close of a relationship.
I try and I love my brothers, my sisters. So I'm not necessarily talking about them, but like I'll tell you an interesting story. I buy Jerry's house a couple of years ago, coming on 5 years now. And the following summer, my dad brings my uncle over to the house to be like, look at my son's house, kind of bragging about me.
Your dad bragging about you.
My dad bragging about me to your uncle, to my uncle, who I haven't seen in 15
which is his
years.
brother.
Yeah, his brother. And first off, I come into the house and they're in the house. I'm like, hello? Like,
you didn't know they were coming?
No. And I walk in and my uncle Dave says, oh, I remember when you used to crap your pants on the snow hill by my house and how you used to cry, blah, 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 blah. It's amazing how I'm like, there's the door. Thank you so much. And my dad's like, what do you mean? I go, you guys can leave. I'm good. Like, I'm a 40-year-old man. I do not need my uncle reminding me of how I crap my pants. What was interesting is I just got a text message from somebody. I was on this high, this vibration. Somebody texted me and go, Pace, I just quit my job. I made $200,000 on this flip. I'm moving. You guys get these text messages all the time. I'm like, I kind of choose who my family is now. And I'm not interested in taking the vibration, this awesome vibration I just had with this person texting me, where I pour positive energy in, I get positive energy out. Then I go put no energy into my uncle and I get some negative comment. I don't know about you, Carson. Maybe your family is just awesome, but I have a direct correlation with how much money I make is directly correlated to how little amount of time I spend with my extended family. So
I would add too, Pace. I think for most people, if you're on a growth trajectory, then more than likely, most of the people in your previous life are not on the same trajectory you are. Maybe they're trying to grow and develop, but probably not at the pace you are if you're watching this show, is my guess.
Yeah.
And so you're outpacing those people and you actually need to limit that exposure to your family. So in my case, I actually feel like my relationship with the in-laws and my own extended family is much better when it's very controlled and isolated.
Yeah.
It's planned. It's a specific time. We set aside the time. We make it quality time. But that couple times a year is plenty to maintain those relationships and keep distance so that no one's violating those boundaries that you have in your growth. Because if you don't have those boundaries, then people will steal from you. Their negative energy will steal from you.
They'll ask for jobs. They'll ask for loans. They'll say stuff like, oh, you think you're better than us.
Or just bring you down. Like your uncle's, what your uncle was trying to do there was bring you back down to where you used to be.
Yeah.
Because he's comfortable with that, even though that's not who you are anymore. I am curious though why you did crap your pants.
I don't know. I don't remember that. I mean, who doesn't.
Could we bring him on the show maybe, and he'll tell us?
Actually, yeah. I think Jamil, you've got a little bit different situation because I don't feel like you have a ton of extended family like Jerry and I do. We have you have one sibling who you do spend a lot of time with. Jerry and I have a ton of siblings, and I don't think we could physically spend time with all of our siblings, even if we had it as a full-time job. But like aunts, uncles, stuff like that, I am so not interested in any of those things just because of the vibration. What say ye, Jamil, who is currently in Canada in your second home?
So what's interesting, I think, in my world, and I think you guys are saying the exact same thing. You know, what happened, I feel, is that if you look at your life right now, and if your life isn't what you want it to be, if your economics, your relationships, your situations aren't what you want it to be, but you have this like plan, you have a trajectory, you have a goal that you're trying to hit. Well, here's the reality. The people in your life right now are why you are where you are. End of story. End of story. And there's no way for you to get to the next place unless you let go of some of them. Now, not all of them, but some of them. And in fact, more than some, probably most. And so that's just something we all have to face. We don't get to take everybody with us. We don't, because what they'll do is exactly what Pace's uncle did, is they will try to diminish you. They'll try to say to you, I'm not comfortable around you when you shine this bright. You have to dim yourself. You have to be less than who you are to be around me, because I can't handle who you are. I can't handle what you bring. I can't handle your light. It's blinding for me. So can I please put a shade over you? Can I please, remind you of this? And can I please, demean you or make you feel bad so that you can be in my world, because you're way too bright. You're way too high vibrational. Your frequency is just not going to mesh with mine. And so I think one of the things we really have to come to terms with, and this is real, guys, this is true. You are going to see a changing of the guard in your life as you get better. And that might mean that you will leave and lose friends, but you'll gain incredible ones on the way. That might mean that you're going to leave and lose members of your family, but trust me when I say this, you will pick up new family along the way, and they'll be better. They will match you. They will elevate you, and they will take you to the next spot. If you are dissatisfied with your life right now, then the reality is you have to be dissatisfied with the people in your life. It's just,
and that's why I think you should not live in the town you grew up in. I don't think you should live in the town you grew up in.
Yeah.
Because everybody remembers the stupid you, the immature you, the not developed you.
Yep.
And you're going to have constantly people trying to bring you back down to where you used to be.
Yeah.
So when you move, you reset, you get to start over.
Yeah. We call this the Norton method. And so Kevin Cho, who has now retired from real estate, just sold his portfolio of like 55 houses. And he now has moved on to business buying and doing social media agency stuff. He was living with his parents, and he's like, I keep doing like 2-3 deals a month. I just can't seem to break out. And I go, do what Jerry Norton does. Get the heck out of Dodge, change your environment entirely. You have nobody you know around you. So it's going to be now backfilled with people that are all high performers if you choose to do so. And it's by far been the number one thing.
He moved across the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Randy, this actually ties into this question a little bit. I would, Jamil said this to me multiple times. A bad mindset is a disease, and you can catch it. And so you look at, if somebody has a cold or a flu, would you intentionally go over to their house and hang out with them? Or would you intentionally avoid them while they had the cold, the flu, what have you?
Absolutely.
Okay, if they have the cold and you hang out with them for a day or an hour, you're going to catch what they have, right? That disease is going to jump and leap over to you. And it is the exact same thing with mindset and lifestyle and the way people treat their wife and their children, et cetera. It's why I hang out with Jerry is intentional and as often as I can. Same thing with Jamil. I just want to be around monogamous men that are trying to change the world, improve the industry that they operate inside of. They want to be around their kids as much as humanly possible. And actually, Jerry, teaches me all of those things, but also balance, right? Balance equals integration. You integrate your work and your life together, right? Anyway, this is a really great question, Randy. How would you guys handle a W-2 with wholesaling? You're asking the 3 wrong guys. because I don't think any one of us three were ever built for W-2s. If I had to sit at a W-2, I would break out in hives and then light on fire. Like
you probably wouldn't even get hired because you wouldn't know how to like make a resume.
I got, okay, I'll tell you a quick story about how my only real adult W-2. Some of you guys don't know, I was married when I was 21 to 24. I was married for about 4 years. And we ended up getting divorced because that woman did not want to have kids. And it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me because look at my life now. I'm so grateful for this. Anyway, she went off and married another guy and they went and had 0 kids, which is exactly what she wanted. So I was not the right fit for her. So it worked out for both of us. Anyway, she really didn't like the fact that I was entrepreneur minded. I would come home from, painting or doing whatever, and I would then start talking about another business and this, and I'm going to go do this thing and it just drove her wild. And she then threatened me with a divorce. And she said, if you can't hold a W-2 and be more like this person and that person, I don't know that we have a future together. And now I didn't know we weren't going to have kids at the time. She had not announced that to me. So I said, well, what's a good job? Like, what's a good job? I'm now 22, 23. I have no college degree. I work my guts out. Well, I just looked around and I found somebody I knew that was making like $100,000 a year. And I said, all right, what do you do? He worked at GoDaddy. I said, can you hook me up? Can you get me a job? He goes, I can get you a job. I go, all right, I'm going to do this to save my marriage. I go through the 2-week onboarding. That was fine. I was like, okay, cool. I can chill and vibe.
It was like a desk job?
Yeah, desk job. It was like sales. Sitting at a cubicle, like helping people.
But you had to go in there and work in the
physical thing. And you walk in. So this is what happened after the 2 weeks is up. I start my first day. I walk in the building and they bring me to my desk and I look at my desk and I go, I quit. I literally did not even sit down. And I walk out and I called my ex-wife and I said, if this is the man you want me to be, you married the wrong guy. I'm a creator. I'm a person that's going to work my guts out. There's no way I can be in this environment. Now, Randy, all of us, all three of us, although we're not W-2 minded, we are creators. We build things. All we can think about is, bringing new value to the industry that we're in. I talked to Jerry for 5 minutes and he's creating a new AI thing here and a new this thing here. And same thing with Jamil. So we love to work. But I would say, like when I first started wholesaling back in 2012, I was a contractor. I ran a construction company. I was working 60, 70 hours a week in that. And I was still wholesaling 20, 30 hours a week. Bro, like I'm going to tell you right now, if your W-2 is a hindrance to getting into business, you are not meant to be an entrepreneur. Because being an entrepreneur is not 40 hours a week. There are years when you're getting up to speed and you're learning, you're getting new relationships, you're getting your freaking college degree and getting kicked in the face. You're raising money, you're doing this, you've got projects that take longer than they're expected. All of these things are going to happen to you. You're going to be putting in 60, 70, 80 hours a week into your business on top of your W-2. And so for me, I went 4.5, 5 years running my construction company, doing $25 million a year in revenue. That's $2 million a month, $500,000 a week, $100,000 a day in renovations is what I was doing for other people. And I was doing 10 wholesale deals a month. I integrated it. What I did is I said, all right, I've got inbound calls, which is primarily what Jerry works on now. Jerry has PPC and people calling him, right? Sellers calling him. That's how I started. I spent money on ads. So I didn't have to have cold call. I didn't have to do any of these things. I didn't have to go out and do outreach. People would call me. So that would be maybe step number one. If you're like, I really don't have time, which you do. If your W-2 is your only hindrance, I promise you have time. So, and Randy, I would honestly, dude, I wish I could just have somebody come and document me for a day and go at the end of the day, go, yeah, you're right. I have tremendous amount of time. Like I have 8 hours a day of downtime. Pace still has an hour of wasted time, but he's busy all day long.
In fact, Randy, put in the chat if you have a Netflix account.
Yes, 100%. So I balanced both. So what I did is I said, all right, Monday through Saturday, I'm running my construction company. I don't work on Sundays. I'll work on Sundays, emails here and there, but I'm not going out to job sites on Sundays. It's disrespectful to my clients, right? So I would look at my calendar, houses I was estimating for, houses I needed to stop by, banks I needed to stop by on Fridays to pay the guys, those types of things. I would throw it on my calendar. And then when I would get a call and they would want me to come see their house, I would fit it in between all of those things. And I would try and navigate through the Phoenix Valley. I integrated it. I didn't balance it. I integrated it. I almost treated it like it was the same job. Here's what my job was. Pace, what did you do from 2012 to 2018? I got in my Prius every day and I worked 14 hours a day and then I came home. Whatever happened during those 14 hours, I just tried to make sure it was all fitting into those 14 hours. So
and you integrated friendships and a number of different things in that Pace. He's 1,000,000%. I've watched him do it.
Mm-hmm.
He is 1,000,000% being completely transparent with you guys. This man integrates the entire thing. The way you do that, Randy, is by integrating it into your life. There is no better answer. There is no other answer.
I would argue that if you are having a balance issue in your life, it's probably goes back to our previous conversation, which is who you spend your time with. If you hang out with people that are in the real estate business in your spare time, you will inevitably do deals. Yeah. It is impossible. So Pace, I have free time. I don't know what to do with it. Do everything you can to go to meetups, go hang out with people at their offices, sit down with them. Like I would stop by Jamil's office at Keighley when he was running his sweatshop in Tempe. Man, that place smelled like a freaking sock, bro. Like that place smelled like a sock that passed through an onion.
It's a boiler room.
Bro, we called it the feet fish office.
It was a feet fish office. And I would stop by and watch Jamil in action. If I had 2 or 3 hours, he was central to the valley. So I'd stop by and I just watched this man in awe and I caught his disease. I caught the disease. So if I were you and you're saying, but what do I do in my time off? I would do everything in my power to go, who should I spend my time with in my time off?
I would add to that too. Like Randy, if you think about it, you have your 9 to 5, but then you got to start your 6 to midnight, and that's your side hustle. And this is if you have to pay the bills, keep the job to pay the bills. First thing I would do is I would cut back all of your expenses to the bare bones, and then create that W-2 to where it's just enough to meet your needs, so that it's not a high energy job that's taking a lot from you. So make some changes there. The other thing I would do is I would sit down with your family and say, guys, I want to create something better for you, for me, for our future. I'm going to be working a lot and I need everybody in this family to get on board with this program. Because don't just assume that they're going to understand that you're working extra for them. You have to vision cast that and explain that to your family. They don't know that or care necessarily, but you have to help them understand, hey, I'm working so hard for a better life for all of us. And then when you start that 6 to midnight job, the side hustle in real estate, you're going to do that as long as it takes to where that side hustle now replaces the 9 to 5. And that's when you can make that plunge into full time. And here's the promise. When you go from side hustle part-time to full-time, it is amazing the growth you'll have when you can put all of your energy into the business. I remember for me, that's what I did. I side hustled it for a while. And, I was doing a deal here, a deal there. And what I did is I saved up enough money to replace my job for a year. Because I told myself, if I have enough in savings to go a year, and at the time it was hardly anything, it was like 25 grand a year. So I did 5 deals or whatever. And then when I quit my first month full time, I did 5 wholesale deals and made $52,000 in my first month full time. But I was ready, like I had been side hustling it, gaining the skills, the momentum, the transactions. And then I was able to just go in with both feet, full steam ahead, and haven't looked back since. So that's a hard time. Anybody that's in that 9 to 5, trying to create the side hustle that can someday become a full hustle, that's one of the hardest periods of this whole journey. But you got to stomach through that and put up with it.
I would say, to be very transparent about what is so hard about it is that your significant other will not understand you. Mm-hmm. In fact, they will fight against you because you are killing the old version of yourself that they fell in love with and where their identity is sitting. Their identity is tied to who you are. And if you're killing yourself of like, I'm not going to be that person anymore that comes home from my job and complains about my W-2 and my boss, what would happen in your life if you couldn't complain about your boss, couldn't complain about your coworkers, and couldn't complain about any aspect of your job? Just that alone would change who you are dramatically. One of the reasons why I can't hang out with my extended family is because my sister's husbands, who will never watch Wholesale Hotline, so I can say whatever the heck I want. When we go to parties, they're sitting there talking about their boss. Like, no offense, but I'm not going to sit around talking about another man who has control over me. That sounds like you have dominatrix issues. Okay?
My wife calls it the what's on sale at Target conversation. Like, she cannot stand being a conversation that isn't some way or another growth focused.
This is what's so fun. Like, I'm hanging out with Jerry, almost every day this summer. I hang out with Jamil, probably 30% of the year. We're on flights together. We hang out with each other. Jerry and I are teaching this week in Nashville, Tennessee for a whole day. There's not a conversation that is not about our kids, something funny we did with our kids, our wife, a date night with our wife, our business, something we're doing with our business. Like, I don't really have hobbies except for talking about my business. My hobby is my business. I love it so much. These guys do too. But you will struggle. And I'm going to guess that Anne-Marie, which is his wife, the woman who gave this man 10 children, I'm going to guess that it was challenging for him to jump into the business, and she fought him on it, whether it was verbally, physically. She's not a physically strong person, but
you'd be surprised.
Or physically, I mean, with body gestures, silent treatment, those types of things. I'm upset with you and you need to know it, because my wife, Laura, when I got into the business, was upset that I was getting into real estate because she was a real estate agent. She didn't tell me until later. She was like, I was rejecting you to get into real estate because I knew, just like Uno, when you play me in Uno, you school me. And I didn't want you to get into the real estate game and show me up. She didn't know that her and I together were like a dream team. Right. Did you have challenges with that?
Yeah, it's funny because she grew up with a dad who worked at the same job for 30 years, retired with a pension. And when I told her I wanted to do real estate, she said, there's no way. People own one house. You can't do this. I'm not supportive of this. I don't think this is a good idea. And I listened to her and I sat her down and I said, I understand where you're coming from. I see your point of view, but I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And I did it anyway.
Jerry.
Yeah, I did. I did it anyway. And what's funny here's the thing that's funny. If anybody's listening to this and you have a significant person in your life that's not supportive of you doing this, nothing gets somebody on board faster than results. Dude, as soon as she started seeing paychecks, Emery was like, I knew you could do it all along. I've always believed in you. You're so amazing.
And by the way, I guarantee you, I wasn't there. This is a long time ago, but I guarantee you did not rub it in her face.
No.
You brought in the check, you immediately shut your stupid mouth, and you went back to work to get another check.
Yeah. And people will quickly get on board when they see results. The best thing you can do is go get a deal, make some money, and show it.
Yeah, it was interesting. We went fishing the other day with like 20 members of Owners Club, something that Jamil and I run. And 20 people came up and went fishing with us, and we went on the lake. And nobody was catching any fish. And this guide goes, I'm going to go over to this random spot, and I'm going to see if there's any fish over there. All of a sudden, we hear his girls on his boat pulling up fish, screaming,
laughing. Yeah.
What do you think everybody else did on the lake?
Went over there.
We freaking hightailed it over to those people. Success gravitates and magnetizes everybody to you. And so you just need, this is exactly what happened with me and my wife. She talks about this on stage. So I'm not saying anything to criticize her. I love her so freaking much, but she and I got into the biggest fight of our life when I told her I was going to spend $135,000 to pay a woman to mentor me to get into real estate. Bethany Willis, I bought her business. She was a wholesaler and I bought her business. That's how I got in. I bought her business on seller finance. It was a Homevestor franchise. I didn't have 135 grand. And she says, you can pay me 25 grand today. And as you do deals, you can pay me the rest. And if you can't do deals because you don't do the work, then I'll take the business back. And I was like, oh, so this was like one of my very first lessons on seller finance was buying a business. And I told my wife, I actually should not have. My personality is this is a weird thing. I don't know how you guys operate. My wife doesn't have a clue how much money I have. No clue. My wife is not in my business accounts. She's not in any of my trust stuff. She doesn't pay attention to those things. She's on my payroll and I pay off her American Express and I pay every single bill.
And the Costco bill.
Whatever my wife wants to put on the American Express, all other bills are also paid for. Every Friday I pay off her Amex and she's on my payroll. So she has W-2 income. Her job is to be the CEO of the house. But I do not tell my wife what I'm spending my money on and what I'm doing this, because every dollar I earn goes back into some business to some degree. She doesn't have the same risk tolerance as I do. And I realize that's my job, is to be the person that's risky. She's the person that's like, hey, let me take care of the kids in the house. Are you guys similar to that?
Very similar,
in
yeah.
terms
Because
of like,
she's so busy running the home. I mean,
like you're not
you
telling
definitely
her,
want to
hey,
be on
I
the,
hired developers and I put $50,000 into
yeah,
developers.
like day to day. But I do try to involve her in big decisions, you know, things that she may have input on, or it may impact her in some way. But you know what, Pace, when I first started, here's a hack, guys, if you want to get your spouse on board. One of my very first couple deals in, it was a wholesale deal, and it was $4,000, and it was cash. So the buyer literally handed me a brown paper bag.
Was this the
cash.
deal where you walked around the corner and found the buyer?
Yes, it was that deal. Yeah,
Okay.
that very deal. So paid me in cash. And here's what I did. At the time, my wife was feeling like I wasn't making her a priority. And in all honesty, I wasn't, because I was working a 9 to 5, and I was working nights, weekends, holidays on the real estate thing. So I was physically not present for that time period. Now she still mattered, and we had a couple kids, they mattered. So what I did is I took the $4,000 in cash, and I went to her and I said, this is going in a big jar, and this entire $4,000 is for babysitters for date night every Friday night. And we're going to go on date night religiously, because you matter to me. I love you. I want a life with you. I'm trying to create something better for us. And that meant the world to her, because while I'm doing this thing that I believe in so strongly, I also still needed to make her a priority in my life and her feel that from me.
Right.
And it was a small thing, but it made a huge difference.
That's interesting. You know, Laura felt the same way. Jamil, I'm interested in, like, when you got your first deal in 2002, I'm interested in how you navigated relationships and stuff with Natalie when you got back into wholesale back in like 2010, or I think it was 2012, you got back into wholesale. But the interesting thing about Laura and I, we struggled for a little while when I was doing both, right? 100 hours a week. I'm putting in 100 hours a week, like quite literally. And we'd text and I'd voice memo and all of those things. But it wasn't until I sat down with her and I said, can I express to you how I show my love as a man? Because you'll never understand men until you understand how men show their love. We show you that we love you by dragging the deer into the cave. And if you expect me to bring home the deer, which would be money, pay for the cars, vacations, retirement, those things, you need to expect that I got to catch that deer outside of the cave. I'm not going to catch a deer inside the cave. You got to push me out. You need to understand that that's how I'm wired. So you either marry this man. And by the way, I also had a really good, I'm grateful that I got divorced early, because in my first date with Laura, I told her, I love to work. If you're going to be with this man, if I ever hear a complaint about how much I work, I'm telling you right now, I'm not the right guy for you. I will put my work as a priority, because I know it actually shows my kids, think our wives right now. Do you know where they're at?
Doing their nails.
Our wives and our little girls are getting their nails done.
Yeah. All together.
That is going to cost probably $700 for our wives and our little girls to go on a girl date. If the money he sacrificed and the time he sacrificed and the time I sacrificed is not a symbol of our love to those people, I don't know what else is. Now, of course, do I spend a tremendous amount of time with my family? Yes. In my Google Calendar, I have this AI that we're implementing into my calendar. This AI is telling me that my average week with my kids is 47 hours a week. My kids are a full-time job for me, so I don't sacrifice now. But back in the day, I was 100 hours a week, and then I had no hobbies. I wasn't going to the gym. No, I did not. Here's what I did not make a priority: my health. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm glad I did not, because I see everybody else going to the gym and spending all this time. Bro, I'm freaking making money so that I can now go to the gym today without a worry in my mind. That's my style. Yeah. I see these young kids, 18, 19, 20 years old. They're so obsessed with the gym. I'm like, how about you go watch a YouTube video on how to make some mother freaking money? Jamil, what about your relationship when you got into wholesale?
You know, it's not the same as the way it worked out for you guys, and that's okay. This is the alternative. You know, reality is I built an incredible life with an incredible person, and it's not always going to be the story where you guys are on the same page. It's just not. And you're going to have the same, goals or wants or ultimate vision of what it's going to look like for you. And again, at the end of the day, you have to do what you know is best for you. And not everybody is going to want the same things, right? So I had an incredible 15 years in a relationship with a woman that I, to this day, adore. She's one of my best friends and is a business partner in so many ways and a collaborator in so many ways, and will always be. There's no chance that that's ever going to not be that way. But sometimes it doesn't pan out. Sometimes you've got to grow out of a thing, and sometimes it's going to look a little different. And there's the pain. That's just life. That happens. And it's okay for it to happen. It's totally okay. As long as you do it in integrity, you do it in love, and you figure out how everybody moves on beyond that, absolutely okay. And Pace, you did that in your first relationship before you got to the success. For me, I got the success first, and then had to figure out how to integrate it all. But the reality is we're all doing the things that we are supposed to do, right? We're all like, I'm in my world doing my world, and she's gonna go in her world and do her own world, and that's great. So I really respect the fact that you have to decide for you what your tolerance is. You have to decide for you what you're willing to accept. If you're willing to accept that you acclimate to a level of stress in your life and it gives you a result that is, hey, I get to go on a vacation a year, I get to do this, we drive this, we live like this, we're worried sometimes about bills, but this is it, but this is where we're happy. God bless you. Enjoy it. Love that. There's nothing wrong with that. There is no shame in that.
In fact, there might be something wrong with the people that don't do it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Which would be me. And if you took my life and you put into somebody else's world or their head or their environment, they would go crazy, right? And you have to understand, like what Jamil is saying is Shakespeare. Like my favorite quote from Shakespeare is, he says, "Know thyself." Know thyself, right? And so like what I love about Christian, he says, bro, I'm not Pace. I'm not a freaking monster. Honestly, I am a monster. But I'm not a monster of like I'm hammering cold calls all day long, right? I know I work all day long. I'm probably similar to Jerry and similar to Jamil. I wake up this morning at 4:30. I answer emails. I get all the way to inbox 0. I communicate with my team. And then at 7 o'clock, I did a one-on-one with Benjamin Huang, who's buying businesses. We had a one-on-one for an hour. I then hit the gym for an hour and a half, and I jammed out to Yellow Card and Simple Plan and some of like the old punk rock. Had a good time, kissed on my kids, and then I went out in my yard for 4 hours today, and I trimmed my fence line for 4 hours.
Amazing.
I got in the shower. I sat down with my transaction coordination team because they're here in Montana. We talked about a couple of deals. Then I went out and I had a call with an agent with somebody I'm following up with. I then ran over to the nail place to say hi to your wife and my wife because I wanted to see our girls like having a date. And then I'm here for Wholesale Hotline. I will literally go all day long without a break. But I integrate, I mix things together. I'm not sitting around watching TV. I'm not scrolling on social media. I'm not doing any of those things. But if you hang out with me for a day, Kevin Cho says to me, goes, by 11 o'clock in the morning, when I hang out with you, you've accomplished more than I do in a week.
True.
So I'm just different.
One thing I like to do, Pace, is every day I try to ask myself this question, I don't know, a dozen times a day, which is, how do I make more money while working less? That's one variation of it. The other variation of it is this the best use of my time right now? Whatever it is. Is this thing that I'm doing, about to do, the best use of my time right now? If I'm worth $1,000 an hour, whatever number you want to come up with, would I be doing this activity? Would I be doing this task? And if the answer is no, which it usually is, then the next question is, okay, how do I develop out of this task? so that I can continue to build a business, make money while I'm not actually doing the work necessarily, right? So, but and there's no answer to that. It's the question that matters. If you're asking that question, it's going to force you to make different decisions.
Yes. By the way, guys, we had a couple of people say, hey, why is the chat so quiet? We have 470 people on Wholesale Hotline today. Jamil, his channel has 98. Flipping Mastery has roughly 80. Pace's channel has a couple hundred. Wholesale Hotline has 5. So if you're over on Wholesale Hotline's YouTube channel, there's 5 people there. And so you might be like, man, why is it so quiet over there? Because there's 5 channels. We're streaming it to all of our channels simultaneously. So bounce around, go find some people to go hang out with. We see every single chat, which is kind of cool. We use a software called StreamYard. So we see all of your chats. It brings it all together so we can see all 5 YouTube channels. Just FYI, if you are sitting there going, why are there not a lot of people watching? We're like, dude, there's like 500 people here hanging out with us on a Monday night. Even though Jamil's lighting's bad, he still looks, actually, you look really cinematic, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks good. Cinematic.
Yeah, it actually looks really, really good. This is an interesting one. I was thinking about this with these the astronomer CEO cheating on his wife, like that.
Scam CEO. Oh my goodness, brother! Wow.
Yeah. So I look at this and I'm like, these people go out of their way to overcomplicate their life. It is so crazy to me. I'm grateful I grew up in a church that kept my hands busy, right? They always say that idle hands are the devil's tools. And so for me, I just stay busy all the time and I hang out with people that aren't doing shenanigans. This is why if I have a friend that has cheated on their wife, right? I find out, we actually have a friend that in our circumference, but he's like, hey, you want to go on a double date? Nope. No. I want dedicated men that I'm around all the time. I don't Pace. Well, just because you hang out with these people doesn't mean you're going to do that, bro. I don't even want to know what the answer to that question is. Mm-hmm. I only want to hang out with people that are going to uplift me all the time. So how do you stay away from sin to be more successful in life, Edwin? It is hanging out with the appropriate people. It is crazy. The smoking, the drinking, the partying, the staying up late at night, the watching TVs. I'm sorry to say this. Even people out there that are lunatics about watching sports, guys, that is so toxic. Like watching other people. There's this, I can't remember what it's called. It's a phenomena that basically when you watch other people accomplishing their goals, it tricks your mind into believing that you are accomplishing something also.
And then it's possible.
And then it's possible. So it's interesting, like how much time
or wear somebody else's name on your back.
Yeah.
I would never wear a sports figure's name on my back. You know, I wear my name on my back.
I would wear Jerry Norton's and Jamil Damji's name on my back.
There are a handful of men that I would say that I would promote as like, that's my guy. That's my guy. And it's exactly that. Pace. It's Pace. It's Jerry. It's, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the best way to use $50,000 to start making money in real estate? Okay. Levi, I got 2 answers for you. I'd love to hear Jamil and Jerry's. Quick one is take the $50,000, give it to me. I'll pay you 12% every single year. I'll send you a check every month for $500 a month, and I'll show you how I do lending. Okay. In fact, this Saturday I have a Gator lending webinar that I show you guys how I do this, but I lend money on other people's deals. Like I have a Starbucks building that I did not find. I'm not developing it. Somebody is putting $2 million into building a Starbucks building. It's going to be a Starbucks because they've got a Starbucks lease for 15 years. I'm putting $1 million into it for like 70 something days, and I'll get $155,000 in that time frame. You could actually participate in a deal like that with me. Pace, I don't have $1 million. I know. Put your 50 grand with me. Email my team, jade@pacemorby.com, JADE@pacemorby.com. Give me your money. I'll give you a personal guarantee. I will guarantee it with my personal net worth that you will never lose $1 with me. And I'll send you a check every single month. And more importantly, I'll show you the deals I'm doing. And you'll be actually my partner on those deals. That's a cheat code, right? I call that pacing. You're pacing on my deals. You're pacing behind me. I find the deal. I fund it. You bring your money in. There you go. That's like, you asked, what's the best way? I would answer that's the fastest way to start making money with your 50K. The second answer is I'd say, take that $50,000, lock it up in a chest, and forget that it even exists. Because everything that Jerry does, Jamil does, and I do, we can do this with no money. And I would argue that I would much rather you not spend any money to get started in real estate, because it will force you to learn skills that will compound in the future, rather than the lazy people to go, I'm going to go put $50,000 down on a rental, or I'm going to put $50,000 in marketing, and it's just burned up because you don't know what you're doing. Jamil and Jerry, what do you guys say?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, if you have $50,000 and you're new to the business, I think you learn the fundamentals by doing the free and cheap methods. If you can build this business from a foundation of zero and then reinvest your profits as you do deals back into the business, that's a smarter way to spend 50 grand from the proceeds of deals you do. Because what happens is in the beginning, you learn a little bit of skills, you transact, you do a deal, and now you build on that. Your success builds on itself, and that is the best way to build this business. And when you learn the free methods, like working with agents and some of the more, maybe they're a little more intense, you're going to understand the process better. You're going to get better at talking to people. Your sales processes, all of it is going to develop as you go, and then you're not wasting that $50,000 the way you described it, or tying it up into something. I agree. Put that away or lend it out and build the business from zero so that you gain the skills you need as you go.
Jamil?
Yeah, I think that's 1,000% the answer. I think putting it into a high interest yield investment strategy, some hard money fund, something where you're doing a PML deal, private money lending deal, makes the most sense. 12% on your money is almost impossible to. Let me just share this with you, okay? For most of you who don't realize this, most fix and flippers out there aren't even making 10% annualized on their flips.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
Yeah, you know what's funny, Jamil, is I don't know if you guys remember Bernie Madoff, right? One of the biggest scams in history. Guess what he was promising returns? 12%. 12%. And people were handing, and he couldn't do it. People were handing him the money because why? Because they can't make 12% anywhere else.
Yeah.
It was such a promise to them that no one could do. And you can do that easily in real estate.
You totally can do that easily in real estate. Bernie, unfortunately, was dealing with the stock market, so it wasn't a reality for him. But Pace is right. Jerry's right. You give that money, you put that money in a high interest yield investment vehicle, that's going to give you your 10 to 12% return there. The next thing I would do is I would use your time to go develop a skill that allows you to then leverage that money into something better at some point. But I mean, what do you do with your money, Pace? Where do I have my cash? I have my cash in two things. One, co-living houses. Two, hard money funds. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't put my money anywhere else. Nothing else makes sense.
I gamble a little bit on Bitcoin. I've got $1 million in Bitcoin, but everything else goes in my lending business. Everything else goes into paying off private money lenders. Like I have an RV park up here in Montana.
Bitcoin right now, bro? You must have
What's
enjoyed
that?
last week. You must have enjoyed last week.
Yeah, but I know it's temporary. You know what I'm saying? Like I've gone through it. I've been investing in Bitcoin on the side.
I have one Bitcoin.
But can you find it?
Yeah, I got it. I have access to it now. I got it.
Wow, bro. That's freaking awesome.
Figured it out.
So for me, I look at my cash goes back into my lending business. Why? Here's why it goes back in my lending business. Because I then get to see more deals that I didn't have to go find. And I go to people and they go, can I use your money? I go, yeah, you can use my money, or I could partner with you on this deal and help you run it. And then I end up making more money. So it's also a pipeline. And it's just like, I would never take my money and go start a shoelace company. Like, it makes no sense. It's not in conjunction with anything else I'm doing. Right. Bitcoin is the future, and real estate of the internet. I don't know what I think about Bitcoin. I have $1 million in it. I've doubled my money since 2021. So that's kind of a nice feeling. But also the beautiful thing is I can't buy Bitcoin with no money out of my pocket. I have to earn money, pay taxes on it, and then buy Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to do that with real estate. So think about it. Like, what really is better, real estate or Bitcoin? Depends on where your skills are. Jamil just made a comment. He says, go develop skills that'll make you a lot more money. What's a skill like right now, Jerry, Jamil, if you had to choose one skill that is like the quiver in the arrow in your quiver, that's like the most important skill that you have, I would name communicating with agents or sellers on the phone.
Talking to people. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
That moves the needle the most. I mean, if you can do that, you'll never go hungry again.
I'm never worried about my future. I'm never worried about my life. Yep. You could pick me up and take everything away. In fact, guys, I am the product of soon to be divorced. That's pretty much it. That's where you hit like beep in your life and you hit reset and you're like, I'm not living in the same house. I'm not like, none of it's the same. But guess what I know what I can do? Make money. I can get on the phone, and no matter what, a divorce can't shake me. Nothing can shake me because I know how to make 10 grand a day by getting on the phone and having conversations with agents. Nothing can shake me.
There's really two things: generate leads and have quality conversations with sellers and agents. If you do that consistently every day, you're doing $1 million a year.
Yeah.
100%.
Kyle Targa is one of my good friends. He's in Arizona. He's incredible. Been doing the business for 15 plus years. He's in the Subto community. He literally joined the Subto community just to contribute. He was like, I've been a solo operator for all these years. I want more friends and I want to do more deals with more people. Kyle has loaned me money. Kyle says, lend your money and then go learn a skill to make more money. When I first started and by the way, these skills convey, meaning they move from one business to another business. So as a contractor, what do contractors do? Which I was a contractor. You go to homeowners' houses, you go through and listen to them, you build rapport, okay? You give them an estimate, and then you follow up because you know other people are also giving them estimates. I just described wholesaling.
That sounds very familiar.
So that's basically wholesaling. So when I jumped into wholesaling, guys, I'm going to tell you, I was very, very lucky. I went on a mission for my church. One of the most important things that ever happened to me in my life is going and talking to people in Korean and selling Jesus door to door. Every day since then has been a vacation.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, I did Argentina. Guys, not only is it trying to tell people about Jesus, which is the hardest thing in the world to sell, it's
is that
door
why
to
Mormons
door.
are so successful in the world?
Yeah, it's why.
Your church sets you up for like
why.
the hardest part at 18, and then it's just like, go dominate.
When you knock doors for 2 years, you can do anything.
Yeah.
What can't you do?
No, that is.
You can do anything.
I never thought about that, but like when you look at the Mormon community, they are very successful. Not only are they very successful business people, they're very successful family people. They're very successful in so many aspects of their life. Why? Like, what is going on in there? What are they teaching you guys? And it's all these lifelong skills. It's these amazing skills. It's beautiful.
I would say this, though, going back to that question of like investing money into the business, I do think as you transact and as you make money and as you develop skills, reinvest proceeds that you earn from zero, but reinvest back into your business. And I think there's three things. You need mentorship, because that will skip you to the front of the line, good coaching, or community, coaching in community. I would kind of put those two together, join a great community, get some great coaching. I would say tools that will help you automate and streamline and organize your business, and then marketing, right? So moving into maybe some higher quality marketing channels. If you can reinvest into those three things as you make money, you're there. You're going to go there. It's all going to work out well.
Yeah, this actually goes in. Anton, good to see you, brother. One of the tallest redheads I know. Love you, brother. Good to see you. He says community is the cheat code.
Yeah.
And there's a good question here, right here from Cynthia. She says, I have a question about mindset. When someone is scared to invest in mentorship, especially when you're unemployed, how can you give peace of mind that the payment on a loan for a mentorship will be returned? Okay, good question. I look at people that go get a college degree and they spend 4 years of their life not earning any money to get a degree in something that they will inevitably hate.
With no guarantee.
With no guarantee. And they acquire like $100,000 to $200,000 in student loan debt just for a 4-year college degree. Then you look at the 6-year and then the doctorates. These guys go spend 8 to 12 years going and getting a degree. And then they go into fellowship or whatever it's called. That's a Mormon word. What's the word I'm looking for? You get out of college.
Residency.
You go to residency, you're getting paid like $50,000 a year. So they go 16 years to be a doctor that makes $1 million a year. Then what do? Is they go, Pace, can I invest my money with you? I should have just gotten in real estate. 16 years just to hate what they're doing and looking at people's butts all day long. I don't know what the heck people are doing. What are they doing going and getting a college degree?
It's not working. I mean,
obviously
it's not working.
But what's interesting is all these colleges are expanding. Like they're spending more money, and like GCU in Phoenix is going to double their campus in the next 10 years. People are so indoctrinated to believe that a college degree is going to work out for them. I'll tell you how much
it's the industrial revolution. It's so antiquated. Yeah.
I will spend $400,000 this year in mentorship and access to high level people. It is by far the number one place I spend my money is on me and putting me, my wife, and my family around other successful people and their families.
Mm-hmm.
I spend $250 on one every year, $100,000 on another, and $55,000 on another. I'm in all three of these mentorship masterminds for the last 3 years, and so that's over the last 3 years I've spent.
What do you think your return on investment's been?
5x, 7x, 10x, 20x. I mean, I'll give you an example, like very specific example.
I already know it's more than 10x.
It's more than 10. Like, it's gotta be.
Here's one from
10x should be the minimum if you do a mentor. I think if you do a mentorship, if you spend 10 grand on something and you can get 100 grand in the next 12 months from what you learn there, I'll do that all day long.
The thing that you really want to get access to is not information necessarily. Information is great, and the live access to it is really great. Like Jerry does his fast track, and I look at being in person in the room is 10 times better than watching any videos. So like you need that. There's some component there. You need some in-person stuff. The other thing that you really need is high level people that you're going to actually do deals with.
Connections.
Right? No offense to YouTube or no offense to like free Facebook groups, but that's the Walmart of the info space. I want Costco. Like I want to be a part of groups that pay a $99 fee every single year to filter out the people that are knuckleheads that have mindset issues of like, do I think I can do this? So for me, very specific story. This just happened 2 weeks ago in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi run a group called Zenith. There's 30 of us. We all spend $250,000 a year to be in this group. And Tony sends me a text. He goes, every time I see you at those events, you don't come up and talk to me. I'm like, because I know the assignment, Tony. I want to meet the 2 or 3 people I still haven't met in that room, because if they wrote a check for $250,000 to be in that room,
they're doing cool stuff.
They're doing things that I want to be around. It's the same thing with the $10,000 mentorship or $25,000 mentorship. It's the people that filtered themselves into that room that showed the rest of that room, I'm serious about doing business. And you better be too, because you just wrote a check for $25,000.
That's Owner's Club.
Oh,
that's Owner's Club. Owner's Club is about the other people in the club, not about Pace and Jamil.
Yeah, I do feel my feelings are hurt. They don't text me as much as they text each other. But anyway, so I meet this guy named Chad. I meet this guy named Chad Willardson. Okay, Chad Willardson. He's writing a book and apparently has a really good following on LinkedIn. I didn't know him before Zenith. And I'm sitting there talking to him. We get put at a table and we're going through like, what are your problems? What are your problems? Let's fix them all together at a table. Imagine going to a space where everybody wrote a check for 10 grand to be in that room and you're all solving each other's problems. Pretty freaking cool, right? Welcome to a mastermind. Yeah. And so Chad has this problem about launching a book and he wants to do X, Y, and Z. And I go, I've launched a book. I've had Wall Street Journal bestseller. Let me solve all your problems for me. He's like, and you don't want anything for this? I go, no. You probably have something or someone I know that at some point when I tell you what my problem is, I'm sure you will suggest somebody to solve my problem. He goes, great. And then it comes to my side and I go, here's the problem I have. I want to raise a lot more money for my fund. I'm doing a lot of multifamily stuff. And he's like, I have $8 billion under management of cash and my clients have no idea what to do with it.
Of course.
And so he's flying down to mine and Jamil's office in a couple of weeks to sit down with my partner, Josiah, and say, hey, I've got all this cash. Let's start a fund. I'll bring all the cash. You guys find the assets. That one relationship will bring me $5 million a year in income at some point, right? It'll compound and compound and compound as long as I service that relationship. So is it worth it? I know the assignment. The question is, Cynthia, do you know the assignment? Are you somebody that's going to go and buy a mentorship to watch videos? If information was going to change your life, we would all be billionaires because ChatGPT is a thing. We have access to all the information on the planet. It's the people that are actively doing deals, not the people that are sitting there wondering if they'll ever do a deal, that you should be hanging out with. And that will change your life. So I would ask any mentorship that you're looking to join, ask yourself the question, does it have a component of community? When I launched Subto 5 years ago, I was like, I don't want it to be known as a mentorship. I don't want to be known as a coach. I want this to be real estate's first community. And that's what we built. So I would find something. I've been to Jerry's fast track event. I'm in Jamil's Astro Flipping. I'm in Brent's TTP. They all have components that have changed my life. But I also understand the assignment, which is you go in the room and you provide value first, and then you extract value. Who I actually don't care about the person that's running the event. I'm just grateful that that person is a high-level person that attracted all these other high-level people. That's the main reason you would pay that person to join that thing, if that makes sense.
And I feel like, Pace, like I'm a recipient of that with you and with Jamil. Like you guys do so much for me that you've made so many deposits, right? In our, I don't know, emotional bank account or friend bank account or whatever, that if there was anything you asked me to do in the world, I would drop what I'm doing and do it for you because you've brought so much value to my life. And so like, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about give. And then people naturally are there for you to give back.
Yeah. Like I ran out of yard work this last month in my Montana house. And, it's therapeutic for me. I'm a blue collar boy. So I love the physical work of like, I do a thing and it shows up. And I looked at my friends, Jerry and Anne Marie, and they have this big embankment of weeds. And I was like, I'm not even going to ask them. I'm just going to bring all my tools over and we're going to start chopping down these weeds on this massive hillside. And I got to spend time with Jerry and I got to have conversations with Jerry, but I provided.
Why didn't you tell about the poison oak, bro?
Oh, bro, I just had to freaking put my medicine on for my poison oak. It's covered my legs right now. It's
you got it too?
Pace got it too. Yeah.
Oh,
but then maybe a week later, I was looking at his deck and I know that Jerry's potentially going to rent this house out. And I go, I don't know that you're going to have time before you leave for the summer to finish your deck. So I went out and I sprayed and rebuilt this deck to a position that looks like a brand new deck. It's the least I can do. The guy is putting my kids on his lake. He's paying for gas. He's paying for food. His wife right now is with my wife talking about systems and processes and how to run a family of 10 kids. You don't think my wife is getting a freaking $500,000 mentorship right now from his wife? The least I could do is paint the guy's freaking couple of steps at his house. You know what I'm saying? So you find these friends that just, it's a full-on collaboration between the two, Which
Jamil, it's funny. I told Pace, I said, Pace, don't spend your summer painting my stairs. He's like, well, what else am I going to do? And I'm like, I can think of like 100 things you could do instead of painting my stairs.
Yeah, but while I was doing
but he A, wanted to paint the stairs, but B, look at what you've done in our lives too, Jerry. There's that piece. I mean, Pace is there loving on you because you deserve that, because you've been that guy in his life. You've done so much. And that's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful.
I feel like I've done 1% compared to what you guys have done for me.
Dude, you had 700 people on your dock last year from our crew. I know that they've become your friends and all that kind of stuff too, but it's interesting. Last year I looked at your dock. We were going to sink this brand new $50,000 dock that Jerry bought. The whole thing is sinking. I'm like, holy crap. We have literally 700 people in his
like
house.
6 inches underwater.
Yes.
That's fun.
And Angie and Dom Milanazo, we love you guys. You are so great. We love you guys so much. Kyle Kargas, the question is also, how much trust can you put in yourself? Would you bet on yourself or someone else? If it scares you to invest in yourself, it's an opportunity to look within. Kyle, I don't know where you started becoming a freaking philosopher, but I love that. Cynthia, she had a follow-up question, and I want to get your guys' opinion about this. She says, well, in order to join this mentorship she's thinking about joining, she has to get a loan of 34% on her $10,000. So 34% on a $10,000 loan, I assume is probably, what is that, $3,400 a year, right? That's $300 or $280 a month type of thing. And she's like, it's my last resort. Dude, all day long, I know myself. I wouldn't even, Cynthia, I'm going to pick you apart just a little bit. because we have a lack of time and we're here live. I might as well just be really transparent with you. I would all day long put my mentorship, like me learning somebody else's information all day long on a credit card. And I'll tell you when this happened. 2018, I lost everything. I had a big client that owed me $1 million and I was wholesaling and running my construction company at the same time. I lost everything. I had to sell my rentals. Jamil helped me liquidate all this stuff so I could get cash and pay all my payroll. And at the time, there was this opportunity to join this $5,000 2-day event that somebody was running. It was actually our friend Carlos Reyes. And I already knew how to wholesale. I'd been wholesaling for 6 years, 10 plus deals every single month, making, good amount of money, netting $700,000 to $900,000 a year. I was doing great. But something told me, you need to be in that room. You need to get away from the negative energy. And I didn't have any money. I lost everything. This guy filed bankruptcy and I had nothing. I had to reset. No money. I didn't have any grocery money. I had a credit card. It was a Wells Fargo credit card. And I literally was sitting on the toilet and I text Carlos Reyes and I said, hey, I just dropped $5,000. Can't wait to see who you attracted to this room. He's like, you don't care about me? I go, no. And I became really good friends with Donovan Ruffin. I became good. You remember Donovan Ruffin? I rarely talk to him now.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
Love Donovan. And I became friends with some other really cool people in that room. That $5,000, because I know myself. I know how I show up. I could have a $5,000 or 5,000% interest credit card, and I know I will pay it off with my work. Cynthia, I don't know you. I regret that. I'm so sorry, but
a financial commitment is what pushes you to do the work. That's why free doesn't work. People who we do free scholarships all the time, and the people who we give the mentorship for free show up the least.
Bro, it's free. This is so interesting. So Jamil, this is so interesting. So this last Friday, about a couple of months ago, I raised $2 million. And I told the private money lenders that brought the $2 million to me, I said, hey, if you guys invest with me, not only will I pay you 12% interest, but I'll also give you a 1-day mastermind in my barn in Montana.
And they didn't come.
Not only that, but we'll have a bonfire on Thursday night. We'll have the 1-day thing all day at my freaking farm in Montana. This place is unbelievable.
Just being there is inspiring.
You feel like John Dutton in Yellowstone.
Yeah, you do,
there, bro.
That's actually a good analogy.
You're like, where's my gun? And then Saturday, I will take you guys all up to Glacier National Park and we'll take you on a hike, and I'll bring a high quality photographer, Eric, and I'll take thousands of dollars worth of photos of you in this unbelievable Glacier National Park. I'll even take you fishing. The cool thing is people freaking invested. Like in 2 seconds, we were completely funded because people were like, I want to go to Montana. But because they didn't pay for Montana, out of 70 people that gave me their money, they're not broke people, but they didn't pay for the fishing trip. They didn't pay for them. How many of the 70 people that said they were going to be there? In fact, the reason they invested so quickly was 13 people.
If you would have charged $5,000 and they all would have come.
Oh, 100%. Isn't
that funny how that works?
It's so interesting to me. So Cynthia, she says, you're right. Thank you. Sometimes we invest in stupid things and forget who really can multiply the money, which is ourselves. That is correct. And I've never done a real estate deal without somebody else. I've never made a dollar without another human being. So I already know the number one equation is I need high quality people around me. I have to. It's not hey, it's better if. It is literally a physical requirement to have other people to make money with. That's an equation. That's a requirement. So I look at the quality of the people I need to be around, and then I look at myself and I go, if I put myself in that room, then I know what work I've got to do. What happened to creative financing? I bought a deal today. I don't know what are you talking about?
What do you mean? What happened?
I don't know.
Did something happen?
Entire life, weirdo.
I have no idea. I have a lot of people in the side chat are like, I bought a Subto RV park today. Thank you, Pace. And then somebody else says, what happened to creative finance? But people will go in debt on a house or a car. Isn't that interesting? Scott Allen, what a gosh dang great point. He says, but people will go and buy some fancy car they can't afford at 18% interest on a depreciating asset but they'll be afraid in investing in themselves. Then simultaneously, they'll go get a college degree that they'll never use and acquire $40,000 or $50,000 in student loan debt, but nobody thinks that's a scam. Nobody in your family is like, what are you going to college for? That's a scam, right?
The reality is, though, Pace, is that it's because it's coming from someone else, right? Like dad said, this is worthwhile, or this person said that this is the right thing to do. And so it's not about what the college education is. It's about who said it was worth something, and that's where right now we're in a change a whole change of the guard. We're in a world right now where AI is going to replace so much of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
We're already doing it. I mean, come on, how much of your content schedule, how much of the things that you're doing in your own business, your lead acquisitions is being taken care of by AI right now? How many people have disappeared because a bot took their job, right?
Yeah.
It's true. It's reality. So at the end of the day, we just have to be honest with ourselves. Like, what are we doing here? And where are we putting our value? Am I going to listen to an antiquated way of looking at the world and say, yeah, college, job, good life? Or is it, hey, figure out what's going on in the world, invest in the things that are making sense, and you'll have a good life? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't take advice from broke people. Simple.
No, don't.
It's like taking marriage advice from a guy who, just cheating on his wife for 4 years. And then it's
But what they're doing is they're taking advice from the past. They're taking advice from the past and they're trying to build the future. And I'm sorry, guys. You can learn from patterns, but you're not going to learn from strategy because it's not the same. It's not the same.
This leads into a good question I'd love to ask Jerry. And then Jamil, I've got a follow-up question to you, unrelated, by David Hefner. Not related to Hugh, I'm sure. Okay, so Chris, he says, if you're wholesaling, but like it, but you don't love it, Jerry. You don't love it, but you like it.
But don't love it. Okay.
Should I continue or should I find something else? I enjoy it, but I feel like it's not motivating. I'm going to say this in a different way.
Okay.
Jerry, I see all these people online Googling, how do I get started in real estate, and really struggling to do it because they can't get past themselves. I've gotten past that point and I've figured out how to make money in wholesale, but it's not as fun as I thought it was going to be. Should I just go back to the drawing board?
I mean, here's the way. Yeah, that's a funny way to think about it. Here's the way I look at it. If you're not in love with business and transacting, I don't think any of this is going to work out for you in the long run. Like you gotta wake up in love with the model. For me, I love taking something from nothing, making it into something special, creating something that is a great idea. For me in real estate, I love transacting, like in and out of deals is so fun for me. But there are certainly parts of it I don't love. Cold calling for 8 hours a day, that's not that fun. But there are other aspects of like getting the check and doing the transaction, putting something creative together. So what I try to do is I try to find the parts of the business that I absolutely love, which I do actually love talking to people. That's like one of my favorite things. Find the parts of the business I love, and then the parts of the business that I don't think are so fun or I don't love so much. I find somebody who does love that, bring them on. They're going to do it better than me anyway because they actually love doing that thing. I mean, Peace, look at your entire team. You have people that are absolutely in love with their job they do. And I meet a lot of your team people, and there are things where you're thinking, I'm so glad I don't have to do that because I would not enjoy that.
Yeah.
And then you're able to stay in your genius, which is the thing you're really good at doing. Yeah, so find the thing you're good at and have someone else do all the other things.
One of my transaction coordinators, Shelly, today in my kitchen, she's like, hey, I just got a deal under contract for us. And I was like, great. Can I be your transaction coordinator? And I was like switching roles. And she was like, no, you would absolutely be horrible at it. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right. You would screw
it all up.
I would.
And honestly, guys, wholesaling for a lot of people is a stepping stone into other things. You don't have to stay a wholesaler your whole life. There are other parts of real estate that aren't wholesaling that I love to do. So like if you're going to treat wholesaling like your launch to get into the business, it's a great way because you can transact, make a lot of money faster than any other business model I've ever seen. And that can then put you down a path that maybe you're doing something else you want to do, build a portfolio or flip or build or whatever, commercial, I don't know, but use it as that springboard And maybe you want to go big with it and build a multi-million-dollar wholesale operation, or maybe you want to transition into something else. I don't think any of that's wrong. I think you just got to fall in love with the process.
Once you figure out how to wholesale, you'll never not want to wholesale. Because even when you get into things like, you've got your hotel kicking butt.
Mm-hmm.
You got this big $8 million deal. You're going to make like $3 or $4 million, maybe $5 million.
That would be fantastic. I don't know.
Okay. So Jerry's got one deal. He's going to make anywhere between $3.5 to $5 million on. He's got this beautiful hotel in Puerto Rico. He's got other businesses that he's built, but it's so fun to be able to rely on. No matter what happens in the world, I can go wholesale a deal, or I can flip a contractor. I can, wedge myself in between two people and go, I'll find you a buyer and da, 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 da. Jamil, same thing with you. Like, no matter what has gone on in your life, wholesaling takes the worry about money out of your life.
Here's why everybody needs to learn to wholesale. You keep the home runs and you wholesale the doubles, singles, triples.
Yeah.
You wholesale what you don't want because someone else has a lower threshold of margin than you do.
Yeah.
Let them have that marginal deal, and you keep the winners.
Yes.
And you make money getting rid of the stuff you don't want anyway.
Jamil, have you ever looked at something expensive and just said, well, that's just 7 wholesale deals?
That's the currency.
The longer I've been in this business,
Bro.
I just divide everything into like, well, if I want to hire another person, if I want to hire another person on my team, I just need to buy another RV park that pays me like 12 grand a month. And after taxes, I got another employee, right? Okay. So Jamil, here's your follow-up question from Hugh's son. David Hefner. What's the fastest way to make $10,000 in real estate without going through a headache to make it? I need the house ready to be under contract, then send it to the title company. I get a buyer, then we all get paid. Jamil, I think he's describing your method and what you've taught me.
You gotta. It's the Astro Flip, the micro flip, the bird dog method. I'm telling you, there is nothing out there that will get you money faster than that. Let me explain why. All right. We're talking about a wholesaler who has already put a deal under contract. The deal is available, which means the fruit is ready to be picked. The next is there are buyers out there who are ready to buy. They are ready to take the fruit. Your job is to connect the two. And all you have to do is find the guy with the fruit and find the guy who wants to buy the fruit and put them together. And there are lists, there are people, there are Pace Morbys. There's so much out there to teach you how to do that. There is no faster way to $10,000 than that. Honest to goodness, I swear to God when I tell you this, I saved my ex-wife's life on a micro flip deal. I made the $6,000 that I needed to make to buy her a prescription that saved her life. I started on Sunday and I got the money by Wednesday.
By the way, he's living in an apartment with like 12 people, multiple dogs, cramped in this little apartment. His wife gets a life-threatening disease. She has like a couple of days that she can live without this prescription.
The prescription, $6,000.
Yeah. So
yeah, you can wholesale your way out of any problem.
You can wholesale your way out of any problem. And I have a buddy that went and lost like $200,000 on a flip a couple of years ago. And he calls me up. He goes, what do I do? I got to get back in the saddle, but I'm afraid of getting back into flip. I'm like, here's the thing, man. You shouldn't have learned how to flip until you learn how to freaking wholesale. Because now anytime you do a bad flip, which is going to happen inevitably, you're going to do 1 in 100. You're going to have a bad one. You can always go back to wholesaling.
I remember telling you, Pace, this story where this was years ago, but I got way overextended on flips. I don't know how many I had, but I had like, I think it was like 50 or 60 grand a month in interest payments on my hard money loans and private money loans, all these flips going on. You know, sometimes the timing doesn't happen. So they were all stacked up, nothing selling. And I literally, wholesaling saved me from losing like all of it because I would just wholesale, make my hard money payment, wholesale, my hard money payment until I got through it and then got them sold and got back into a better spot. But like,
and you ended that whole thing with millions of dollars at the end of it. I know you did, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And had I not known how to wholesale, I don't know what I'd have done.
Jerry, Scott Allen wants to know, oh, dang it. There was a green one that somebody paid $5 for. I got to answer that question first. Julian Burney. Okay. This is an interesting one. If you asked me this question in 2008, or 18, like 7 years ago, I would have told you run for the hills.
Don't.
Now I'm trying to buy an excavation company. We've got a member in Owners Club who's the largest creative finance business broker in the United States, Michael.
Construction companies are going to be some of the best businesses you can own in the next 10 years.
Yeah, I want to own the ones that are like have the highest barrier. Everybody's getting into like HVAC, plumbing, electrical. I'm like, that's low barrier of entry. I want to be in like excavation where you have to have like hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment that's harder to get into.
And buy those assets and super depreciate them.
Yeah, that's dude.
Oh my gosh.
So Julian says,
dude, what did you just, that was brilliant.
Yes, he's smart.
You can bonus depreciate those an excavator if you have a construction company. I'm doing it on my farm, bonus depreciating like all the stuff I'm buying.
Wow.
You have a farm LLC?
Yeah, I texted you guys. I set up my farm LLC.
Did you guys just pick up what these two put down? I don't know if you did, but I picked it up. That was a good one.
It was interesting. You know, I was watching Cody Sanchez. I'm going to see her in a couple of days. Good friend of mine. You'll see her as well. And she asked me to just speak at her event. And I was looking at a post she made a couple of years ago with Ryan Pineda. And she says, yeah, you know, all my real estate buddies, they're bragging about their little $400 cash flow. I'm like, Cody, you know, you can't depreciate a business. And then I go, wait, you can't depreciate the business, but you can depreciate heavy equipment.
Everything you buy for it, everything.
Yeah. So I was like, heavy equipment, you know what? Excavation company. Anyway, so Julian, the answer is I would get into a construction company that has a higher barrier of entry. And I would also just buy the construction company. There's something called a silver tsunami that we are heading for, which is all the silver haired people, the old people are all retiring, like a tsunami is coming. And we're already in the middle of it. Most of the RV parks I'm buying right now are just retirees. Okay. Every RV park, I swear to you, is owned by an old couple that bought them 25 years ago when they were like 60. Now they're 85. They got health issues. It's like literally every broker that sends me an RV park right now. Hey, my client's in a health issue. Hey, my client's in a health issue. Hey, my client's in a health issue. So I would advise to buy an existing one.
Here's what people don't understand. Like, here's the cheat code, guys. You have a business or you buy a business, you buy something, use it for the business, and write off 100%. And it gets better. The thing you bought, buy it with 100% financing and still write off the entire thing, use it for your business, and then write off 100% of it in year one.
Yes.
Are you kidding me, guys? And then do a business that will never be replaced by AI, at least for 10 years, and do a construction company, because AI is not going to do excavation.
Not yet, for at least a while. Probably 20 years. I bet you in 20 years, they'll have automated excavators and maybe not even 20 years, maybe 10 to 15.
If you're sitting on a desk, though, to make money, AI is going to take your job.
100%. Okay, we've got 2 more minutes. This is easy. Pigpen. Hey, rookie question. The idea of an agent asking for EMD terrifies me. If they want $1,000, you get the $1,000 from a buyer, right? No, because you have to find the buyer first. You don't get a property under contract and not put EMD in immediately. You first and foremost do not have a legally binding contract until EMD is sitting at escrow. A lot of smart real estate agents will actually call the title company, because they'll choose the title company, by the way, not you. They choose the title company, the agent, and they will then have their escrow officer send them a copy of the EMD receipt. It's one of their main jobs to make sure earnest money gets in. So what would you do? You would email me or one of the gators I've trained to bring EMD to people. So email me, money@pacemorby.com. I got you. Or reach out to the gators. There's probably 1 or 2 of them in the side chat that have the EMD for you. Jamil does this. Jerry does this. We fund people's EMDs. We know that is a big sticking point that people have a hard time getting into the business. And no, if you're doing the agent model, they're always going to require earnest money. There's no like, I'm going to put down $0 or $10. It ain't going to work. 100%. They're always going to want earnest money, and it's going to be fairly significant usually. So, and if you put down a joker EMD, you're going to be looked at like a joker. Yeah. So make it substantial. Yeah, like EMD, I always tell people EMD is like the engagement ring to a real estate transaction. And okay, Jerry's next daughter that's going to get married is Grace. And I love Grace. She's like, I'm like her uncle, I think. Yeah, definitely. And if some joker came to your house, right? She's 27 and he shows up and he's like, hey, Jerry, I want to ask your daughter's hand in marriage. And you go, okay, great. Do you have an engagement ring and all that stuff? He goes, I can't afford an engagement ring. What would you say to that?
I'd say you're not marrying my daughter.
Yeah, you're not marrying my daughter. What if you showed up with $1,000 EMD, which would be like a ring pop? At least he's got something. No, dude, if you want to get engaged to a real estate transaction, you better be calling that agent and going, what's your EMD? They're going to typically say 1%. The way I beat out all other wholesalers is I just say $10,000 EMD. And
that's what I do. It's your earnest money. Really, you should be looking at it as a negotiation tool.
Yeah.
You don't compromise
price.
price. It is definitely because it shows you're serious.
Yeah.
And sellers want certainty more than they want price. Distressed sellers, anyway.
I did this deal to Cody Sperber. So shout out to Cody Sperber. I was negotiating on a deal back in 2019. He was also negotiating on a deal in 2019. And I went to, this is back when I was going on appointments. And I go to the appointment, I meet with the seller. She's like, well, I'm talking to these other people because, you know, I know how to get that out of a seller. I go, well, do you mind if I just text the person like exactly what they should do to set over a contract? I might not be the right buyer. It sounds like they're wanting to pay a little bit more money. And she goes, you wouldn't mind? I go, no, give me your phone. I pull it up, Cody Sperber's reps. And I go, hi, this is seller. Here's the things that I really need to see in the contract. $10,000 non-refundable earnest money, inspection period, a proof of funds from your bank that's been seasoned for 30 days. I want when you close us, you cannot use a hard money lender.
Oh, no hard
That's
money.
That disqualifies.
So I go, here's the thing. I go, has this guy been pretty like attentive? He communicates. She's like, oh my gosh, he's on it. He's following up with me all the time. I go, okay, great. So if he doesn't reply within 15 minutes, maybe we should then have a conversation. So we're sitting there going around the house, talking about stuff. And she goes, he's not replying. I go, wow, it's been 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I go, well, what do you say? Let's just put a contract together. I'll put all of these things in the contract and we'll do the deal. So we sign the deal, whatever else. So I call Cody Sperber up and I go, hey, do you want to buy a deal? And I assigned it to him for $25,000, dude. I made 25 grand.
You punked him and then sold it to him.
I punked it, sold it to him. Then I brought the contractor to the table and I made a $10,000 spread on the contractor's fee.
You know what though, Pace? Like when I'm a seller on a flip, one of the first things I do to weed out a non-serious buyer is I ask for more earnest money.
Yeah.
Because a real buyer is going to be like, you'll give me my price, but you just want more earnest money? Fine.
Yeah.
That's a real buyer. They'll do that.
Always.
Okay. Let's see here. Ingrid Hernandez, we love you.
Ingrid.
She says it should at least cover a mortgage payment for 2 months if you can't do $2,000. Yes. What if he was a hard worker digging ditches in Detroit though? Steve, I don't know what the question was. I apologize. I must have missed some context.
That's me. I was digging ditches in Detroit.
Audrey says, hey, Pace, no experience whatsoever, but with you, Pace. I will make it. Love you, buddy. Thanks for showing me the way. Audrey, number one thing you should do today is find a Subto member that lives close to you and go, where's the next meetup? I've got a meetup this week. I'm going to see if I can get Jerry to go to it. It's a Nashville meetup between when I speak in the morning and when Jerry and I do a session in the afternoon. We're going to be doing a meetup in downtown Nashville.
On Wednesday?
On Wednesday.
Oh.
During lunch, we're going to be doing a meetup.
Really?
At the hotel. Did it last year. They were upset about it. We're still going to do it. Guys, we love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. Jamil, what do you have going on this week?
I'm chilling, man. I got the last week with my kid here for this month and excited to come to No One Left Behind with you at the end of the month. Let's get it.
Jerry, what do you got?
Just you and I are flying out tomorrow to Nashville, going to do a little thing there and then come back. And I'm just, Pace, I wake up every morning like full of immense gratitude to be in Montana in July. And so like, I just want to feel that gratitude to have such a tremendous, just a blessing to be. Yeah. I mean, how many days like this do you get? Like you get out here? It's just
zero in Arizona.
Yeah.
That's how many. Guys, I have a meetup in Nashville this week. Go to whereispace.com to find out details of all the meetups that I'm going to be doing. My wife and I had a conversation last night about potentially going on the road for 50 days, 50 states, 50 days, doing 50 meetups in those states and going
RV? Or no?
Yep, doing an RV.
Oh man, that's
and
fun.
Just going crazy. What I want to do is I want to find the most creative investor from the last 5 years. I've had people in the Subto community do way more creative deals than I have. And so we're going to go and announce the king or the queen of creative finance for the last 5 years. We're thinking about doing that. Go to whereispace.com, check in on that all the time. You'll see what meetups I'm going to personally. I do have a gator training this Saturday. If you guys want to check that out, I don't even know how to get there. Just DM me. I'll give you guys a link. And Jerry and I have chicken waiting for us downstairs because our wives got it for us because they knew that we are hardworking guys on Wholesale Hotline, providing all this value. Mostly I just come here to see Jamil.
Me too.
Well, my kid just cooked me spaghetti, so I'm going to eat that too. Love you
Love
guys.
it. Love you, brother. Guys, we'll
Appreciate
see you
you
next
guys.
week. Wholesale Hotline, 5 p.m. Arizona time, every single week. We have not missed a week in 5+ years. See you guys later.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.